like to ask everyone if you could just look around at each other. We are the beautiful mosaic that is San Francisco. I live here, and I know my colleagues on the board live here, and all of us live here because San Francisco is a city that actually cherishes our immigrants. But let me tell you, 15 years ago I worked in Washington, D.C., and that is not a city that remembers that our country was built on the backs of immigrants. That is not a city that knows that every day immigrants are struggling. Immigrants are toiling to build the present and the future of our country. And I want to thank all of you for coming out here to being part of this amazing community of San Francisco, a community that believes that we ought to be a sanctuary city for all. A community that believes that our immigrant children should have a right to education. That all of us deserve health care. That all of us deserve jobs that pay a living wage. Particularly our hotel workers who are here, all right? And I just want to say, by the way, I'm so proud to be here with my colleague, Supervisor Campos, because he has led such an amazing fight on behalf of all of us. Can we give it up for Supervisor Campos? But I just want to say, we are all here with you. We are all standing together. And we know that here in San Francisco, we're going to stand up for our immigrants. And we're looking for our wonderful Speaker Pelosi to stand with us, to stand with all of us, and to ask your colleagues, your 435 colleagues, to remember all that we know about the history of our country, the present of our country, and the future of our country. Thank you for being here today.
I want to thank President Chu and the rest of the Board of Supervisors for standing tall on the issue of immigration, on the issue of sanctuary. Quiero agradecerle al Presidente Chu y a la Mesa de Supervisores de San Francisco por apoyar nuestro estatus de ciudad santuario. Let me say this. I'm here because I believe that our representative in Congress, Nancy Pelosi, gets it. I have spoken to Nancy Pelosi about immigration, and I think that her heart is in the right place. Estoy aquí porque creo que nuestra representante en el Congreso, Nancy Pelosi, entiende el sufrimiento de nuestra comunidad. Creo que su corazón sí está en el lugar correcto. But the thing is this, that sometimes even people who have their heart in the right place need a little push. Even people like that need to be told that we, the people that they represent in Congress, we want this country to recognize that it was immigrants who built America. Let me ask you this. How many of you are either immigrants yourselves or come from a family of immigrants or a family where you come from somewhere else outside this country? Unless you're a Native American, everyone should have their hands up. The fact is that this is a country made up of people from all over the world. This country has become the wealthiest country in the world because it was able to take talent from every part of the world and use that talent to create the most productive society in the history of the world. Well, that productivity cannot exist, cannot continue without immigration. That cannot happen. It is immigrants that made this country what it is, and it is this country, it is immigrants that are going to continue to make sure that this country remains what it is. Let me say this. There was an important ruling that happened today in Arizona. We applaud the fact that SB 1070 has been, at least part of it, has been blocked. So thank you to the federal courts for doing the right thing. Thank you for doing that. But let me also say that there's still parts of this law that remain in effect. This law still says that in Arizona you cannot have a sanctuary, you cannot be a sanctuary city. And the judge did not block that. So this law still remains a bad law, which is why we need our federal government to act. That is why we need our representatives to step up and say, we're not going to tolerate that. So we're asking our representative in Congress, Speaker Pelosi,
We know that your heart's in the right place. Do the right thing. Push for comprehensive immigration reform. Make it happen in the House of Representatives. Let's not wait for the U.S. Senate to make it happen. Let's make it happen now. Let's make it happen for all the kids that are working hard, playing by the rules, but cannot get that legal status that allows them to get all the benefits that provides. Let's do the right thing. It's the right thing to do. It's the American thing to do. Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Thank you very much.